Hello dear students, in today's session I am going to give you the line-by-line explanation of the Night Mail written by W.H. Auden. Very quickly, let me just read a few lines about the poem. It's on page number 20. Night Mail originated from the desire to produce a film that would serve as the public face of a modern, trustworthy postal system, in addition to boosting the low morale of the postal workers at the time. We will see that this poem seems to be a tribute to the postal workers. Night Mail is a poem by W.H. Auden written in 1935 as a verse commentary for the final minutes of a documentary film of the same title, Night Mail. Now, he paced it to match the rhythm of the train's wheels with a stopwatch in order to fit it exactly to the shot. We will discuss this in the next section. It is celebrated as the classic example of film soundtrack verse in English. It first describes the arrival of a night train, this being the LMS Porter Special Express from London, Euston to Aberdeen via Crewe, Glasgow and Edinburgh across the Scottish border, making for Glasgow as the country sleeps. Students, let us begin today's session. The poem The Night Mail begins with a vivid description of the journey of a mail train crossing the border. This is not any ordinary mail train. This is a special night mail with a significant purpose. और ये significant purpose क्या है? Bringing the check and the postal order. The night mail brings letters for everyone. Postal order is a type of money order which is used for sending money through the mail. This is the specific purpose of this night mail, and the beautiful journey of the night mail is one of the major themes of this poem. So, theme number 1, beautiful journey of the night mail. Letters for the rich, letters for the poor, the shop at the corner and the girl next door. The train has letters for people from all walks of life, from all sections of life. सबके लिए ये नाइट मेल लेटर्स और डॉक्यूमेंट्स लाती है. Letters for the rich, letters for the poor, the shop at the corner and the girl next door. The night mail has letters for the shop at the corner as well as the girl next door. The train does not discriminate between the rich and the poor. The financial status is not important at all. Everyone gets letters and everyone gets news. Pulling up B-talk, a steady climb, the gradients against her, but she's on time. Notice the use of the pronouns here, her, she's. The night mail is addressed as her and she. The night mail is invested with the qualities of a woman. And this figure of speech is personification. Personification is a figure of speech in which human qualities are given to inanimate objects. Night mail एक inanimate object है और इस night mail को human qualities दिया गया है. And she is a woman here. And in this way, the poet gives a specific identity, a special identity to the night mail. He personifies the night mail by giving it human qualities. He portrays the train as a lady who enjoys the journey through different terrains. Everyone eagerly waits for her arrival. Pulling up B-talk, a steady climb. Where is B-talk? B-talk, Scotland में एक village है. A steady climb. The night mail undertakes a difficult uphill journey. The gradients against her. The slope is against her. It is a steep uphill climb, but she is on time. She overcomes this problem and the train is on time. This shows the importance of time and schedule, and we come to know that the night mail is dutiful and punctual. And another theme of this poem is the dutifulness of the night mail. Theme number 2, write down. Dutifulness of the night mail. First theme क्या था? Beautiful journey of the night mail. और second theme क्या है? Dutiful nature of the night mail. Past cotton grass and moorland boulder, shoveling white steam over her shoulder. Snorting noisily as she passes, silent miles of wind-bent grasses. The train is climbing up Beatalk and the slope is against her and she is still on time. The train passes through a landscape of cotton grass plants and moorland with boulders. And as discussed, the train is personified. It is referred to as she. Imagery is used to make readers perceive things involving their 5 senses, and W.H. Auden has used imagery in the poem. This is a night mail crossing the border. This is visual imagery. Snorting noisily as she passes. Snorting noisily, auditory imagery. Shoveling white steam over her shoulder. Again, visual imagery. And this imagery makes the poem so appealing. Shoveling white steam over her shoulder, snorting noisily as she passes silent miles of wind-bent grasses. Another figure of speech here is alliteration. Dekho, shoveling white steam over her shoulder. Shoveling starts with an S, steam starts with an S, shoulder S, snorting and silent. The figure of speech used here is thus alliteration. Shoveling white steam. इसका क्या मतलब है? The night mail moves steadily up the slope towards Beatalk. And as the coach moves, she feeds on coal and other fuel to keep on the move. And the smoke flies over the train and into the distance as it passes forward. And the train makes sure that the smoke does not hide her vision, blocks her vision. Therefore, she pushes away the smoky fumes. The journey is long, but she is not lazy, she is not idle. She continuously shovels white steam over her shoulder, snorting noisily as she passes silent miles of wind-bent grasses. The poet uses the phrase wind-bent for grasses because when the train in full speed passes through the fields, the air pressure causes the grass to bend. So this is used to show the speed of the train. The train roars through the silent grassy fields. चारों ओर साइलेंस है, मगर ये ट्रेन जाती है इस साइलेंस को तोड़ के with roaring sound, snorting noisily. And it snorts noisily in order to make her presence felt, in order to announce her arrival. लोगों को तो जानना जरूरी है कि ये ट्रेन आ रही है, and these people are anticipating letters which will be brought by this train. Next, this is the first stanza. The second stanza now. I hope you have understood the first stanza. Birds turn their heads as she approaches, stare from the bushes at her blank-faced coaches. Alliteration once again. Bushes and blank-faced coaches. Blank-faced coaches क्यों है? Because there are no passengers. And therefore, the face of the mail train is impassive, impressionless, because there are no passengers. What is the impact of the journey of the train on the birds? Birds turn their heads as she approaches, stare from the bushes, from where they are hiding, at her coaches. Sheepdogs cannot turn her course. They slumber on with paws across. The birds do not fly away. The sheepdogs also continue to sleep on with paws across. और ये क्यों है? The sound of the train is heard as she passes through miles of wind-bent grasses. Birds turn their heads when the mail train approaches and stare from bushes as at her. The coaches of the train have blank faces. Sheepdogs cannot change the direction of the mail train. Therefore, they do not pay much attention to the train. She passes by and they sleep with their paws crossed. She passes by a farm also without waking anyone up. In a farm, she passes, no one wakes, but a jug in the bedroom gently shakes. People are aware of the arrival of the train at night, but they are not worried or amazed by the sound. Why? Because they are habituated to the journey of the night mail. It is a part of their life. सब लोग जानते हैं एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम में ये नाइट मेल वहां से पास कर जाएगी और इसीलिए कोई ज्यादा ध्यान भी नहीं देता इस नाइट मेल को। मगर सब बेसब्री से किसका इंतजार करते हैं? चिट्ठियों का इंतजार होता है। और ये चिट्ठी कौन लाता है? ये चिट्ठी लाने वाली है ये नाइट मेल। But a jug in the bedroom gently shakes. However, a jug, an inanimate object in a bedroom, gently shakes when the train passes. Dawn freshens, her climb is done. Finally, it is early morning and her uphill journey is over. What is the symbolic significance of dawn? The daybreak is the time when darkness disappears, and it is the time of the day when light appears in the sky. Dawn is that period of the day, dawn is that phase of the day which marks the beginning of something new. And this new phase is the end of the dark night and the commencement of daylight. This new phase brings freshness and renewed energy after the dark night. The train has completed the difficult part of the journey. Now it is morning time and the easy path is ahead. The poet personifies the night mail as a human being who has come across many hurdles and challenges, but still she moves on whatever the situation is. She is continuing her journey. Now she starts her journey downhill after the difficult uphill climb. She is going downwards towards Glasgow, and Glasgow is another city in Scotland. Down towards Glasgow she descends towards the steam tugs yelping down the glade of cranes. Steam tugs kya hai? The steam tugs are boats that are used to tow other boats or ships. A glade of cranes, the rows of cranes along the Glasgow harbour that look like trees in the woods. Towards the fields of apparatus. Fields of apparatus refer to factories and other industrial sites. And the furnaces refer to places where things are burned or heated up. Set on the dark plain like gigantic chessmen. These industrial sites look like giant chess pieces on a dark plain. Here is a simile. Set on the dark plain like gigantic chessmen. The simile, like gigantic chessmen, alludes to planning, building and working that goes into making an industry instead of farms and fields. From the countryside, the train has entered into an industrial area. All Scotland waits for her. All the people of Scotland, everyone in Scotland is waiting for the mails. Chessmen, 32 pieces of chess. In the dark glens beside the pale green sea locks, men long for news. What is the meaning of locks? Scottish word for lakes, and glens, a narrow valley, especially in Scotland or Ireland. In the narrow valleys and beside pale green lakes, the remote areas, people wait for mails. People wait for news. And what kind of letters? The charm of letters is another theme of this poem. Theme number 3. Charm of letters. Before starting this section, you must know that in the pre-technological era, there were no phones or any other fast electronic means of communication. Back in those days, people communicated through letters that took many days to reach their destination. During those days, people eagerly waited for letters letters had their own charm at that time. And in this poem, it has been very vividly described how people longed for letters and how different kinds of letters were written and sent. लेटर्स लिखने का एक अलग चार्म था और लेटर्स मिलने का भी एक अलग चार्म था. तभी कोई मोबाइल फोन्स नहीं थे, व्हाट्सएप मैसेजेस हम नहीं कर सकते थे, ईमेल्स भी नहीं थे. तो क्या था, कैसे लोग अपने एक दूसरे के साथ कम्युनिकेट करते थे? थ्रू द मीडियम ऑफ लेटर्स. एंड दिस अगेन makes the poem appealing, the various kinds of letters. Letters of thanks, कौन से letters? Letters of thanks, gratitude वाले letters. Letters from banks, financial documents वाले जो letters है. Letters of joy from the girl and the boy, receipted bills. There are different types of letters to thank someone. From banks, letters that inform something happy from a girl or a boy, and there were receipts and bills and letters of invitation also. Happy moments. Receipted bills and invitations to inspect a new stock or visit relations. And applications for situations, job के लिए application, and timid lovers declarations. Lovers एक दूसरे को खुल के चिट्ठी में अपनी दिल की बात सब कुछ लिख डालते थे. एंड टिमिड लवर्स, जो लवर्स एक दूसरे को सामने से कुछ कह नहीं पाते थे, ये लवर्स चिट्ठी में सब कुछ लिख देते थे. संकोची डरपोक लवर्स. Declarations and gossip from all the nations. Job applications sent through mail, letters from timid lovers, and there was news about all the world. News circumstantial. What is the meaning? Some news of a particular situation and some news were financial news. News circumstantial, news financial, letters with holiday snaps to enlarge in, letters with faces scrawled in the margin, letters from uncles, letters from cousins and aunts, letters to Scotland from the south of France. दूर दूर से ये letters आते थे स्कॉटलैंड में जो रहते थे उन लोगों के लिए. हैप्पी मोमेंट्स के लेटर्स होते थे और सैड मोमेंट्स, मोमेंट्स ऑफ लॉस. Letters of condolence to highlands and lowlands, notes from overseas to Hebrides. Some letters contained photographs that can be enlarged. Some letters had faces drawn on the margins. Letters arrived from uncles, cousins and aunts, and letters also came to Scotland from the south of France. Letters were being sent to people in Scotland who lost loved ones, letters of condolence, and letters were written in different colored papers. Here Auden has beautifully depicted the vast array of things sent by post that people received at one time or the other. And letters to Scotland from the south of France, letters of condolence to highlands and lowlands, notes from overseas to Hebrides. What do these lines signify? These lines reflect that the people were knit together by this medium of communication. This correspondence from France to a group of islands off the coast of the west coast belonging to Scotland called the Hebrides. Another theme, human need to be connected. The night mail was a medium through which the people of Scotland connected with the outside world. Another theme, human need to be connected. Theme number 4. Written on paper of every hue, every color, the pink, the violet, the white and the blue. So this shows the diversity of people, the different kinds of paper used to write these letters show the diversity of people. Some letters were pink, some were violet, some were white, some blue, and then some chatty, the catty, the boring, the adoring, the cold, and official, and hearts outpouring. Some letters were cold or official, formal, and some said everything the heart felt. Some letters were like long chats, chatty, catty, alliteration. Chatty का मतलब some Some letters were like long chats. Catty ka matlab spiteful, boring. Some letters were really boring and some letters were adoring. Some showed great devotion. Clever letters भी थे, stupid letters भी थे, short letters भी थे, long letters भी थे, typed भी थे, and the printed letters were also there, and there were letters which had a lot of spelling mistakes. Therefore, so many kinds of letters were carried by the night mail. Here, there is a figure of speech. This is going to be a new figure of speech, so take down the note. Anaphora. देखो, letters of thanks, letters of joy. फिर यहाँ पे भी है letters with holiday snaps, letters with faces, letters from uncles, letters to Scotland, letters, 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 letters. Repetition of the word letters. What is the figure of speech? Anaphora. And what is the definition of anaphora? It refers to the repetition of a word or expression in the first part of some verses. First part में ही है, beginning में ही है word letters. Auden has repeated the word letters in order to emphasize the point, such as letters with holiday snaps, letters with faces, letters from uncles, to emphasize on the variety of letters sent to the people of Scotland. You must know all the figures of speech, and if you get any other example of alliteration in this stanza, do let me know in the comment section. Alliteration ढूंढो. देखो alliteration है क्या इस stanza में? अब the next stanza. Thousands are still asleep. What is the meaning of thousands? Who are referred to here? By using this term thousands. Thousands of people are still asleep. It is night. It was night and it is just dawn. People are not yet awake. Many are still asleep, dreaming of terrifying monsters or of friendly tea beside the band at Cranston's or Crawford's. Cranston and Crawford, Scottish cities. Band क्या है? A covered platform outdoors where musicians can stand and play. Now, thousands are still asleep. Many people are still asleep, and in their dreams they are dreaming of terrible monsters or dreaming of having a cup of tea with friends while listening to a band play in either Cranston's or Crawford's. Some people are asleep in Glasgow and in Edinburgh also. Asleep in working Glasgow, asleep in well-set Edinburgh. Asleep in granite Aberdeen, they continue their dreams. Some people are asleep in Glasgow and in Edinburgh or in Aberdeen. Aberdeen is called the Granite City because it is famous for its locally quarried granite stone, which was used to build many of Aberdeen's most famous buildings. They continue their dreams. They keep dreaming in their sleep. But what will happen to them? And shall wake soon and long for letters. Long for letters. Again, what is the figure of speech? Yes, alliteration. L, L, and none will hear the postman's knock without a quickening of the heart, for who can bear to feel himself forgotten? They will wake up soon and hope that news and letters will reach them, and none will hear the postman's knock without a quickening of the heart. When they hear the postman knocking at their door, they will be excited in anticipation. ये लोग बहुत देर से ईगरली वेट कर रहे हैं इन लेटर्स के लिए, और जब पोस्टमैन आके दरवाजे पर नॉक करता है तो इन लोगों का जो हार्ट है वो एक्साइटेड हो जाता है और वो क्विकन हो जाता है. मतलब these people feel excited and they eagerly wait in order to receive the letters. For who can bear to feel himself forgotten? They will be excited in anticipation because nobody wants to feel forgotten by their loved ones. Here again, there is a figure of speech. Write down the figure of speech used here. It is rhetorical question. Now, what is rhetorical question? Again, I'll give you the definition. Rhetorical question is a question that is not asked in order to receive an answer. It is just posed to make the point clear. And what is the point that W.H. Auden wants to highlight? Here, Auden has posed rhetorical question at the end of the poem to emphasize his point for who can bear to feel himself forgotten. Nobody wants to be forgotten. Everyone wants to be loved, appreciated, and remembered. Hence, the use of the rhetorical question. And another figure of speech. I will again turn the page and come to the first stanza. Just look at the first stanza. Enjambment. What is enjambment? It is defined as a thought in verse that does not come to an end at a line break, rather it rolls over to the next line. देखो यहाँ पे snorting noisily as she passes, silent miles of wind bent grasses. तो यहाँ पे ये line खत्म नहीं हो रहा है and it is rolling on to the next line. The figure of speech here is enjambment. Notice the spelling. Enjambment. Symbolism is another figure of speech used in the night mail. Symbolism is using symbols to signify ideas and qualities, giving them symbolic meanings that are different from literal meanings. In this poem, night mail symbolizes duty and hope. Duty क्यों? क्योंकि ये नाइट मेल कभी गिव अप नहीं करती और ठीक टाइम पे पंक्चुअली वो आके लेटर्स को डिलीवर कर जाती है. होप क्यों? द पीपल eagerly wait, eagerly anticipate the arrival of letters because they are hopeful of different kinds of news. चाहे गुड न्यूज हो, चाहे बैड न्यूज हो, किसी ना किसी ने तो लोगों को याद किया है और उनको लेटर्स लिखा है. This is a medium. Letters were a medium of communication back in those days. अभी तो हम व्हाट्सएप कर देते हैं, ईमेल कर देते हैं, वीडियो कॉल कर लेते हैं, बहुत सारे ऑप्शंस से, मगर बैक देन बहुत लिमिटेड ऑप्शंस थे और लेटर्स बहुत दिनों बाद इन लोगों को मिलता था. So, this poem seems to be a tribute to the relentless services provided by the postmen. So this seems to be a tribute to the postal service. Without them, just imagine how could these people communicate with each other? क्या होता अगर ये postal service नहीं होता? लोग अपने आप से दूर दूर तक कैसे communicate कर पाते? Hence, this poem is a tribute to all those postmen who work day and night in order to give people news. Also learn the justification of the title, The Night Mail. This poem is all about the night mail, the journey of the night mail. Hence, the title is apt. I will just discuss the appropriateness very briefly. The title is apt because the poem indicates the story of a train that brings mail at night. And the writer gives a universal appeal to the train by telling that it brings letters for all, rich and poor both. This is important. Universal appeals. Very quickly before ending, examples of imagery. Birds turn their heads as she approaches, stare from the bushes. Visual imagery. Sheepdogs cannot turn her course, they slumber on with paws across. Again, visual imagery. Let's come to this section. Towards the steam tugs yelping down the glade of cranes, towards the fields of apparatus, the furnaces set on the dark plain like gigantic chessmen.